All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're getting into the mind of the legendary producer Rick Rubin through his incredible book, The Creative Act. Now, this isn't your typical how-to guide with 7 easy steps. Not at all. It's really more of a philosophy, a whole new way of looking at the world, and a new perspective on the creativity that Rubin believes is in every single one of us.
And right at the start of the book, Rubin hits you with this quote, and it just sets the stage perfectly. It tells you everything you need to know. This isn't about trying to force a result. It's about getting yourself into a certain state of mind, a way of living your life where creativity just happens. It becomes inevitable.
So, first things first, we've got to tackle this huge myth that's out there. This idea that creativity is some rare, magical gift that only a few special people are born with. Rubin's whole message is that this is just plain wrong.
See, his whole point is that creativity isn't some exclusive club that you need an invitation to. It's a fundamental part of being human. It's basically woven right into our DNA. It's our birthright. It belongs to every single one of us.
And his definition of create, it's so simple but so powerful. To bring something into existence that wasn't there before. And when you think of it like that, it just blows the whole idea of creativity wide open. It's not just about painting a masterpiece or writing a symphony. It's about making anything new. And once you start looking for it, you realize you're already doing it. All the time. You know, solving a tricky problem at work, having a really great conversation that opens up new ideas, even something as simple as finding a new way home to beat the traffic. Those are all acts of creation. You're bringing something new into the world every single day.
So what this does is totally reframe what it even means to be an artist. It's not some title you earn, it's a practice. It's a choice to pay a little closer attention, to really perceive the world around you with fresh eyes. It's just a way of being.
Okay, so this leads us to one of the more, mystical ideas in the book, and honestly, it's one of the coolest parts. Rubin suggests that when we start to see the world like an artist, we can actually tune in to this universal source of creative energy.
He talks about the universe as this constant, eternal unfolding of creation. It's just humming with ideas and inspiration, like this endless wellspring of potential that he calls the source.
And this is his central metaphor, the one that really sticks with you. We're not just pulling ideas out of thin air. We're acting like antenna, tuning into signals that are already out there in the universe, just waiting for someone to pick them up and express them. The best artists, they've just developed the most sensitive antenna.
So, how do we make our antenna more sensitive? Rubin says we need to get back to the qualities we all had as kids. You know, being curious instead of cynical, being spontaneous instead of getting stuck in our heads, and just approaching the world with that sense of wonder, of awe.
Okay, so if we're all these creative antennae, how does that actually work in practice? How do we take these signals and turn them into something real? Well, this is where Rubin gives us a super helpful roadmap. He breaks the whole journey down into 4 clear phases.
It all starts with the seed phase. This is just about collecting ideas, any ideas, with zero judgment. Then you move into experimentation, where you just play. You follow whatever feels exciting. After that comes the hard work of crafting, where you give it structure. And finally, there's completion, polishing it up, and crucially, knowing when to let it go.
And this quote right here, it just nails the feeling of those first 2 phases. See, it's not about having a perfect plan from the start. It's about starting with a question and just setting off on an adventure, totally open to being surprised by what you find along the way.
Now, the crafting phase. This is where you roll up your sleeves. But it's not just about building and adding things. A huge part of it is also pruning, stripping away all the extra stuff, all the noise, so that the real, essential idea at the core can finally shine through.
But let's be real. What's the one thing that stops us all in our tracks? Self-doubt, right? That little voice in your head? Well, let's look at how Rubin reframes this, not as a weakness, but as a potential source of incredible strength. And this part is so important. He makes this amazing distinction. There's doubting the work, asking, hey, can this be better? That's actually super helpful and makes you improve. But then there's doubting yourself, telling yourself, I can't do this. And that is just pure poison. It's totally destructive.
To really drive this point home, he tells this beautiful story about the Japanese art of kintsugi. It all starts when a piece of treasured pottery shatters.
But here's the magic. Instead of trying to hide the break, the artisans do the exact opposite. They carefully fill the cracks with a lacquer that's been mixed with real, powdered gold.
And the result is just breathtaking. the flaw, the break, it actually becomes the most beautiful and interesting part of the entire piece. It doesn't make it weaker, it makes it stronger. It becomes a shining testament to its history. It's a reminder that our own scars can be our gold.
And that's the whole point, isn't it? Perfection is boring. It's not relatable. What really pulls us into a piece of art is seeing the humanity in it. And being human means being flawed. Those imperfections are what allow us to really connect with it and with each other.
So, this all leads us to the big one, the final, most fundamental question. After all this work, all this struggle, all this joy, why do we even bother? What is the ultimate purpose of making art?
I mean, really, why do we have this deep, primal urge to bring new things into the world? Why build monuments, or write songs, or tell stories, or even just make a beautiful meal for someone you love? What's it all for?
Rubin's answer is profound, and it's just 2 words. From the very first person who put their handprint on a cave wall to the latest blockbuster movie, every single act of creation is a monument. It's a universal human cry that echoes through time, saying one simple thing: I was here.
And that right there is the beautiful, powerful takeaway from this entire book. The reason we're alive is to express ourselves. And creating art in all its forms might just be the most effective, the most beautiful, and the most human way of doing exactly that. It's how we affirm our own existence.